Coming up on today's Cowboys update, Mel Kiper Jr. just dropped his first 2026 NFL Draft big board, and it's already stirring things up. With the Dallas Cowboys struggling lately, especially on defense, and holding 2 first-round picks, it's time to start paying attention to some of the top college prospects who could change this team's future. We'll break down the most notable names on Kiper's list, the ones worth watching every Saturday if you're keeping an eye on the next generation of NFL talent. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Alright, let's get into it, Mel's top 25 prospects for 2026. Now, we won't cover every single name, but let's highlight the ones that actually make sense for Dallas. And no, quarterback isn't really in the cards for the Cowboys right now. At number 2 on Mel's board is Jeremiah Love, and this one's interesting. He's been a popular preseason mock draft pick for both Dallas and Chicago, and for good reason. Love's been explosive all season, a true big play threat who's added another dimension to the Notre Dame offense. He's not just a runner anymore, his involvement in the passing game has made him even more dangerous. Now, sure, we'll have the usual positional value debate, but when you're talking about pure talent, Love might be the best player on the board if he's still available when Dallas makes its pick. Right behind him, Fernando Mendoza lands at number 3, though the Cowboys aren't likely going quarterback here. And at number 4, Arll Reese from Ohio State makes the list. It's great to see Mel giving him some recognition, because anyone who's been following his play knows he's the real deal, powerful, athletic, and climbing fast on draft boards everywhere. Arll Reese has been nothing short of phenomenal this season. The way he plays, his speed, instincts, and ability to impact every phase of the game, is special. He can cover, stop the run, and even blitz off the edge with real power. He reminds me a bit of Jamon Dumas Johnson from Georgia, a linebacker who can rush the passer but also command the middle of the field. The difference? Reese feels like a more complete version of that prototype. If you put him in the right system, he could become the kind of do-it-all defender that the Cowboys have been missing since they traded away their last versatile linebacker star. Honestly, there's a real chance Reese becomes the first defender off the board in 2026. He's that dynamic, a true sideline-to-sideline playmaker who can change the tempo of an entire defense. So, let's hear it, who's your dream first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to see who you'd build this defense around. Now, the top 10 of this draft class might not be overflowing with elite names, so if Dallas ends up outside that range, some of the truly special prospects could be gone early. One name still worth watching, though, is Peter Woods from Clemson. A versatile defensive lineman who can line up inside or on the edge, though he's looked more comfortable at the 3-tech spot. Clemson's entire defense has struggled a bit this season, so Woods' production doesn't fully show his impact, but the talent is absolutely there. Of course, everything depends on what the Cowboys decide to do with Osa Odighizuwa and the rest of that defensive line rotation. If they need more inside pressure, Woods would fit that mold perfectly. As for the offense, Dallas should already have George Pickens locked in as their main receiver. So even though Mario Williams and Brendan Rice from USC have impressed, wide receiver might not be the priority here. And let's be real, the Cowboys haven't exactly shown much love for drafting safeties. But that could change if they get a chance at Kalen DeLoach. This guy is a difference maker, explosive around the box, smart in coverage, and built for today's fast-paced defenses. He's the kind of safety who can flip the script on a defense that's been searching for identity. Kalen DeLoach continues to prove why he's one of the most underrated safeties in college football. He's explosive, instinctive, and versatile enough to line up almost anywhere. He's good enough to play deep coverage, but teams love him most when he's near the line of scrimmage, attacking, blitzing, and making plays in space. Sure, his one interception this year came off a lucky bounce, but a takeaway is a takeaway, and he made the play. That's what separates him. He's got that rare awareness and aggression that NFL defenses crave. Now, safeties don't usually go high in the draft, but if Dallas ends up picking around 12th overall, it wouldn't be crazy to see them take a hard look at DeLoach. The list of true top-tier safeties in this class is very short, and he's one of the few with first-round upside. Coming in at number 8 on Mel Kiper's board is Jordan Tyson, a wide receiver with strong hands and solid speed. He's talented, no question, but with Dallas already deep at the position, that might not be an immediate need. The surprise, though, is Ruben Bane Jr. landing at number 9. This guy has been a nightmare for offensive lines all season long. 29 quarterback pressures, one of the highest totals in college football. If you watched that Notre Dame game, you saw it. Bane and his teammate completely took over in those final drives. That kind of dominance up front doesn't come around often. The Cowboys could absolutely use a player like that, a true game-changing pass rusher who can collapse pockets and create chaos every snap. Whether Dallas can land him depends entirely on where they end up drafting, but if Bane's within reach, he'd be a massive upgrade for this defense. And with names like these rising fast, from Arll Reese to Peter Woods to Ruben Bane, it's clear the 2026 class might just hold the pieces Dallas needs to turn things around. With all the uncertainty surrounding Terrence Steele and the Cowboys' offensive line, it's worth taking a serious look at the top tackle prospects in this upcoming class. Right now, Spencer Fano sits as Mel Kiper's highest-rated offensive tackle. He's been solid all season, just 3 hurries allowed, though the penalties are a little high. What makes him intriguing is his versatility. He started games at both left and right tackle, giving teams flexibility to play him wherever he fits best. His teammate, Caleb Lamu, deserves mention too. Both are polished, athletic blockers with the potential to anchor an NFL line for years. If the Cowboys want to invest up front and protect their franchise quarterback long-term, one of these two could be the answer. Of course, defense might still take priority for Dallas. If they choose to go all in on that side of the ball, a name to remember is Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. He and Ruben Bane Jr. both bring that rare size-speed combo, big, powerful edge defenders who weigh in above 270 pounds yet move like linebackers. Auburn's scheme has used Falk in some unconventional ways, but his talent is undeniable. He's exactly what you'd want in a 3-down defensive end, strong enough to stop the run, quick enough to rush the passer, and disciplined enough to stay on the field in any situation. In a lot of ways, he's the kind of player Dallas thought they were getting in Marshawn Neen, but Falk's consistency and physicality separate him. He could become the cornerstone piece that solidifies the Cowboys' front seven. As for the offense, Carnell Tate continues to shine this year, but wide receiver isn't really a concern for Dallas at the moment. And Dramon McCoy, still recovering from that torn ACL at Tennessee, will be another player to monitor once he's back at full strength, a potential sleeper for teams willing to take the long view. Injuries are always tricky, and that's exactly the concern with Dramon McCoy. When healthy, he's been outstanding, holding opponents to around a 50% completion rate, with 6 pass breakups and 4 interceptions last season. Those numbers jump off the page. But here's the thing, you can't justify spending your first-round pick on a player who's still recovering. If the Cowboys have that second first-rounder in the 20s and McCoy's still on the board, that might be the perfect spot to take the risk. High upside, manageable value. Now, tight end isn't exactly a pressing need for Dallas right now, though Kenny Sod out of Oregon is a fun player to watch, athletic, reliable, and competitive. Moving on, T.J. Parker from Clemson has taken a bit of a step back this season. His production's dipped, fewer pressures, fewer tackles for loss, and the sack totals have dropped sharply. Early in the year, people thought Parker and Peter Woods could be the first 2 defensive players off the board, but now it looks like only one of them might sneak into that range. Parker's still talented, but he hasn't dominated the way many expected. Here's a question for you. What draft position do you think the Cowboys will end up with for their first pick? Will it be 10? 12? 15? Or do they rally late and push for the playoffs? Drop your prediction down in the comments. I want to see where Cowboys Nation stands. Now, Ty Simpson has been lighting it up for Alabama, but quarterback isn't the move for Dallas. The focus should shift to Avion Terrell, brother of Atlanta Falcons star A.J. Terrell. Playing at Clemson, he's been steady and competitive. The completion percentage against him isn't elite, but the potential is there. Cornerback remains a real area of need for this Cowboys team, and Arll could be one of those second-tier prospects who develops into a difference-maker in the right system. At number 18 on Mel Kiper's big board sits Francis Mauigoa, the powerful offensive tackle from Miami. Another versatile lineman who could easily find himself starting early in his NFL career. Next up, we've got another offensive tackle cracking the top 20 on Mel Kiper's big board, and this one's a true right tackle, a position the Cowboys could absolutely use help at. He's shown real growth this season, especially in the run game, where his power and technique have been dominant. As a pass protector, he's improved too, showing more balance and patience against speed rushers. There are still some questions about his overall athleticism and whether he has the foot quickness to stay at tackle long-term. Personally, I think he does. The tools are there, and his game continues to trend upward, but his combine testing will tell the full story. Moving to the defensive side, keep an eye on Amari Washington. At 6 feet 3 inches and 330 pounds, he's an absolute run-stopping anchor in the middle. Washington isn't known for his pass rush production, but his sheer strength and ability to clog gaps make him a difference-maker up front. If the Cowboys eventually move on from Osa Odigizua or anyone inside, Washington could fill that massive void on the defensive interior. He's more of a candidate for that second first-round pick, but his fit and impact can't be ignored. And if we're talking pass rush, David Bailey Jr. deserves serious attention. He's a completely different type of edge rusher than Keldrick Falk or Ruben Bane Jr., but just as effective in his own way. The Stanford transfer has been on fire this year, 8.5 sacks in just 6 games, with an insane 28.9% pressure rate. That's almost unheard of in college football. Bailey wins with relentless energy, strong hands, and a lightning-fast first step. He's the kind of player who can single-handedly disrupt drives, exactly the type of high-motor, high-production edge that the Cowboys could use opposite Micah Parsons. That kind of pressure rate just doesn't exist, it's almost unreal. Numbers like that are truly elite, the kind of dominance you rarely see, even from legends. Think about Myles Garrett, one of the greatest college pass rushers of all time. In his final season at Texas A&M, his pressure rate was just above 16%. Now compare that to David Bailey Jr., who's sitting near 29%, that's nearly double. Unbelievable. Now, Bailey isn't your typical run defender. He's undersized, with shorter arms, and he's not asked to anchor against the run much. His job is simple: hunt quarterbacks. He's the kind of player who thrives when you just let him fire off the edge, the way Bruce Irvin did in his prime. Bailey might end up being a situational pass rusher at the next level, but when it comes to pure explosiveness, bend, and speed off the line, he's elite. If you ask, what is he great at, the answer is simple: getting after the quarterback. Switching gears, let's talk about the linebacker class, because it's absolutely stacked this year. The Cowboys need linebacker help badly, and thankfully, there's plenty of talent to choose from. One standout is C.J. Allen, a player Dane Brugler has been high on for a while. He's improved every single season, showing better instincts, tackling, and play recognition. This year, he's posted multiple forced fumbles, pass breakups, sacks, and 5.5 tackles for loss. To me, Harold Perkins is still the best linebacker in this class, but Allen isn't far behind. I'd call him the clear number 2 right now. He's that good. Moving on, Jacoby Lane at wide receiver is fine, but not a priority for Dallas at the moment. And then there's Caden Proctor, who's been getting some creative usage at Alabama. They've been lining him up in wildcat formations, and honestly, it's been a blast to watch. I'm calling it now, the next twist from Nick Saban's playbook? A Caden Proctor goal line pass. And I cannot wait to see it. To be fair, he started the season rough, there's no sugarcoating it. His first couple of games were not good. But since then, he's been much better. Here's the crazy part: half of the pressures he's allowed this season came in week 1. That's how much he's improved. He still had some struggles against Missouri, but now he's starting to look more like the 5-star talent everyone expected him to be. So, who else should be on the Cowboys draft radar that wasn't in Mel Kiper's top early round picks? Let me know down in the comments. I'm genuinely curious which players you think Dallas should target. A few extra names worth mentioning. Caleb Lamu, the other tackle from Utah, has really impressed with his consistency and hand placement. LT Overton is a defensive end/defensive tackle hybrid, kind of that 5 technique mold. I think I might have mixed up some measurements earlier. It's who has the short arms, not Bailey. One of them has sub 32-inch arms, and for NFL standards, that's a huge red flag. Anthony Hill Jr., man, he's electric. Everyone loves watching him play because he brings energy on every snap. Then there's Sonny Styles, the versatile linebacker/safety hybrid from Ohio State. Whit Weeks has flashed real sideline-to-sideline speed. Harold Perkins, who I mentioned earlier, is that rare hybrid freak who's been phenomenal this season. Jacob Rodriguez over at Texas Tech, super underrated, very instinctive. And finally, a name I personally love, Mansour Delane. The measurables might not perfectly fit the Cowboys prototype, but here's the bottom line, the guy can flat out play football. Don't overthink it.